Hey everyone, wanted to just talk about leadership. Now I know leadership is obviously the premise of this podcast. We talk about it a lot, but I want to specifically talk about leading by example. When we're in the roles that we're in, whether you're in a leadership role, management role, and you know what, you don't even need to be in that type of role to be considered a leader. As long as somebody looks up to you in the workplace or in life, they're looking at you to make those right decisions. And I'm not saying we have to be right 100%, but you take the workplace, for example, there are rules, whether they're policies, procedures, or a cardinal rule or a cardinal safety rule. And these are really, really important, and they're obviously put in place for a reason. I mean, if you look at the OH&S book, I know here in Alberta, it used to be like an orangish, reddish color, and the reason for that was because they say it was covered in blood, because everything in that book specifically was because somebody had either hurt themselves or died. That's why they come up with these acts and rules in this book for everybody in the workplace to kind of abide by. But anyways, yeah, so leading by example, what that means is following the rules that are set out. Not only just following them, but believing in them and owning them. It's one thing to just follow them, but have them shot down in front of a group of people, or be that person who's going to say, well, I don't really agree with it, but, or, that rule is stupid, or why do we do it that way? I don't really agree with it, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's about ownership too, right? Yes, leading by example is what we need to do, but for most people, we're in those leadership roles or those manager roles. You have no other choice but to own it. And you own it, you have to believe in it in order to effectively change cultures, or to get buy-in from other people or the workers who you're quote-unquote in charge of, or who follow under you in the hierarchy. It's when you don't do that really sets a divide in a team. It can ultimately cripple an organization. I've seen it before. I've witnessed it before. It's not a good feeling to have. It's not a good work environment to be, and it's definitely not the spot where anybody wants to be. It creates a negative culture at work. It just becomes something you don't want to be a part of. And when somebody, a new person coming into the organization or the team, and they come on and they see these people who are basically in charge or have been in power or empowered by an upper level, higher level manager, when these people have blatant disregard for rules and for policies, it sets that tone right down the line to the front line. And why would they buy in if their leader or manager doesn't agree with something, or is unwilling to adapt to those rules or adapt to that policy? It just creates that terrible environment. And ultimately, again, this is my opinion, but I don't think that person is a leader. They might have a title as a lead or a manager or a people leader, but they are not what quantifies and what qualifies as a leader in an organization. And if you're listening to this podcast or anything that I put out, or my partner, you don't want to be one of those leaders who loses faith, they don't lose faith, but people have lost the ability to follow that individual, and effectively they won't be a leader. It's just plain and simple as that. So that's kind of it for now. I just wanted to speak my little piece and my little beef on what I consider to be a true leader, and what the definition of a leader is.